Beautiful morning to you all in the beautiful city of Lagos. How are you all doing today? It is your boy again, Joel, and on the wheel, which I'll be discussing subordinate clause. Remember, in one of our classes, we have discussed what clauses are. We learned that a clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb. It could be meaningful or not meaningful. The one that gives a full expression that is meaningful is called coordinate clause, as we learned in that class. But what about the subordinate clause? Is it meaningful? Even if it has a subject and a predicate or a subject and a verb, it does not share a complete thought. It only gives extra information and is dependent on other words in the main clause to make a full sentence. Subordinate clauses are introduced using various elements, but let's look at this simple sentence. When I say simple sentence, I do not mean that the sentence given to you is simple. I'm trying to say that the structure, the way I'm framing it is very simple. Look at it. Chiedu will do the laundry while I wash the dishes. This sentence is made up of two clauses, the main clause and the subordinate clause. Therefore, when we have sentences like this, we always call this a complex sentence. So, subordinate clauses appear only in complex sentence or multiple sentences. So we watch out for that. We can also see it in the compound to complex or complex to compound. As long as complex in the types of structure, we say subordinate clause will be found there. But look at this. What makes this expression complex? Because there is availability of something we should know. Look at this. Chiedu will do the laundry. What do you call that? That is the main clause because it can stand without the presence of another element. What about why I wash the dishes? Can it stand on its own? No. Why I wash the dishes? What happened? You should ask yourself the question and give the answer. Therefore, we have Chiedu will do the laundry while I wash the dishes. Perfect complex sentence. Subordinate clauses are introduced by subordinate conjunctions and relative pronouns. That is why we call it part of subordinate clauses. We have the one that is introduced by subordinate conjunctions and relative pronouns. Remember in one of our previous classes, we discussed about subordinate conjunctions. Do you remember them? We talked about conjunctions, four types of conjunctions: coordinate, correlative, adverb, and what? Subordinate. So these subordinate conjunctions will play a vital role in our class today. And the other part of conjunction or subordinate element we are going to learn is called relative pronouns. So relative pronouns are also used to introduce subordinate clauses. Now let's go straight to this first element. We want to see how we use these subordinate conjunctions to introduce them. What are some of the examples? Do you remember? While, as soon as, do you remember those elements? Let's find out the one you could remember. While you are trying to note this down, you can pause the video to write them if you wish. We have discussed all these before, and I believe that you might have done research on them. Now that, even though as long as there are many unless, when, whichever, right there, whatever, wherever, there are many, numerous and multifarious. So having seen this, let's see some of the sentence examples that will help us to decipher the topic. Look at this sentence now. I won't forgive him even if he has apologized. Do you spot a subordinate conjunction there? Yes, even if. So the part of the sentence that comes immediately after even if makes up what is called the subordinate conjunction, subordinate clause. It cannot stand on its own. Even if he has apologized, can it stand? No. But I won't forgive him. Can it stand? Yes. So this now brings us to the next question. What are they doing? The reason for this topic is because of your comprehension passages in examination. We will ask you, what is the grammatical name given to this? So this one, what is the grammatical name? We are going to find out that I won't forgive him. Why? Or for what reason? Because of what? You ask a series of questions. So you can see that it's a adverbial element. Is that not so? Let's find out why he says I won't forgive him. Adverbial clause. So we are not trying to find out. Nobody will ask you what type of adverbial clause. If you do not know the type of adverbial clause and you place it, it's already a minus for you. So don't try that. And what is the function? It must be the verb forgive. So let's take another example. I do not know whether the teacher will appreciate this little gift of mine. I do not know whether. What do I not know? Whether the teacher will appreciate this little gift of mine. Some of you will say, I do not know if. Please, if it's adverbial, if cannot come here after the verb no, because the verb no wants an object. And that's why if we look at it very well, because whether idea from whether to the end gives us the subordinate clause. But what does it function? Like I said earlier on, we say it functions as what? Object of the verb know. So as a noun clause, it functions as object of the verb know. Don't worry. We are going to pay attention to the types of subordinate clauses very soon, but not in this class. Look at this second example on relative clauses. You know, we said that subordinate clauses are introduced by relative clauses. Look at how it is introduced here. What are relative clauses? You may want to know. Relative, but I said relative clauses, relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are pronouns that are related to the topic of the sentence. A good example of this is which, whichever, whatever, who, whoever. All those pronouns that you know, they are called, if not all of them, but the ones that are relative. These are just few of them. We want to find out some of these sentence examples we can employ while using relative pronouns to introduce subordinate clause. Look at this first example. He will pick whichever he prefers. What is the relative pronoun there? Whichever. That already gives you a clue that all the words after whichever, including whichever, makes up what? The subordinate clause. But the question is, what is the grammatical name? There is a trick. To get the grammatical name, you must find out what is he doing there. He will pick what? Oh, yes. Because you are looking for a name of something, definitely it is a noun clause. If it's a noun clause, he will pick what? So he will pick. Pick is a verb that is going to show an action and something else must benefit from it. So we have object of the verb, pick. Very simple. Relax. We are going to discuss this one in one of very soon. Let's look at another example. The hands that took my pen will return it. Do you spot any relative pronoun in that sentence? Oh yes. I can see that you have spotted it. That. So are we not going to say that took my pen will return it is the subordinate clause? No. There is a part of this sentence that can stand on its own. Are you trying to figure it out? Oh, yes, you are smart. I can see. What about the other part that when we remove, the sentence remains? That one is called the subordinate clause. Remember, you have spotted where it will start from. That. So where will it end? Wow. That took my pen. If you remove it, what do you have? The hens will return it. Full stop. But you may ask one question, which hens? Which means you need a descriptive word, phrase, or clause to describe the hens. And also, what do you call the part of it that describes? Well, we call it adjectival. So the hens that took my pen is an adjectival clause. What is it doing? Describing the noun phrase, the hens, in the main clause. Let's take further example on this. Look at this sentence. Richard told me that he will visit Gloria. I believe you have also spotted the relative pronoun there, that. Aha. What is it doing there? We say that visit Gloria is the subordinate clause. And what is the grammatical name? You should get this. Noun clause. What is the function? Even the principle of what we did earlier, you say it is what? Excellent. Object of the verb told. So these are some of the things you should know. I believe that in the subsequent classes, you will be able to see the categories of the noun clause, adjectival clause, and adverbial clause. These are the three major types of relative subjective. What do you call it? Subordinate clauses. So these are the three major types of subordinate clauses. They are the noun clause, adjectival clause, and adverbial clause. Watch out! Do not miss the series of these clips. We are going to discuss noun clause. What is noun clause? How do we identify it? What is adjectival clause? How do we identify it? And what is relative adverbial clauses as they are used in complex sentences in our comprehension passages? Until then, remain blessed and highly favored. Remember, readers are leaders. If you do really enjoy our clips, Do not forget to look for the number and find out where are you. Ask your questions and we'll give you the details that you want.